Well, hello there, brother moons and sisters. Thank you again for tuning in to another great segment with your host, me, myself, and I, Mijette of Mijetteverse. Well, today, without further ado, I am just excited to bring on a gentleman, a brother moon, who I actually met at one of the fest downtown. And he's a great author. And I want to bring him on and I want you guys to show some love. So let's join and welcome our brother, Kevin Blaize.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, hi. Well, I have to say, when I met you, I was with my daughter and my grandson, and my daughter had been following you on Instagram, and she was like, "Mom, this guy, his book, we've got to find out more about his book." So I was like, when I came up to you, that's why I said, "Would you be, would you do us the honor in coming on to my show?" And I just am very enlightened to see you on here with us today. I want to ask you a few questions. So we're gonna be at home,
Sure.
and first and foremost, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Blaize, the author of a trilogy, Dogs of the Wild. And I'm located out in New York, Brooklyn, New York. And pretty simple, just love writing and talking about my work. Mhm.
Oh wow! So you were not from the Atlanta area.
No, I actually took a 12-hour drive down that day, that the day
Wow.
before. Yeah, the
Okay.
Thursday.
Oh wow, wow. Now I know you said it's a trilogy. Tell us about this book.
Okay, it's about dogs battling wolves for supremacy, and all the other animals join in on what side they think is going to win, or what side they're forced to join in on. Takes place in a mystical forest, untouched by humans. If you like action, suspense, thriller, page turner, it's going to be the next big thing. I've already finished book number two. It's double the size of book number one. I'm going to launch that one in June of 2023. That's the plan. Still have a little editing to do and so forth, but the plan is to launch it in June of 2023. I've been getting a lot of excellent reviews. We got some
You
beautiful
have.
illustrations on the inside.
Can
The
I
end.
see the book? Can we see the book?
Sure, sure, sure. Give
And
me
by
one
the
sec.
way, for the viewers, pay attention to some of these questions that I'm going to ask him because at the end of the show, Mijetteverse is going to purchase a book and give it away to one of you. So pay attention because I'm going to ask you to comment and find out who's actually listening. We know our people sometimes don't tend to stay on long, but I promise you, this is a book that you want to get engaged on. So let us see the book cover.
Let me grab it right here. Sorry.
Okay. So pay attention because I'm going to ask him some questions and I want you guys to answer below so I can pick a winner. If it's a lot of you, I'm going to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and choose you. But to get the book too. Let's see that book, Kevin.
Okay, here it is.
Dogs of the Wild. Now, what made you think about of all the species? What made you go with the dogs?
Um, I wouldn't say that I'm really a dog lover. I've had a few Rottweilers in my life, but I'm not I've always loved my personal dog. Like I wasn't the type to see somebody in the street and go up to their dog. Oh, what a great dog! Like I wasn't that type. I had my personal relationships with my dogs, and I was sitting out in the backyard and in Pennsylvania. I was in Pennsylvania. I was sitting out in the yard and I'm looking into the forest. I'm looking into the wilderness, and the idea just came to me. So once I started writing, it just blossomed into something else. I love to creatively write. I've always loved to entertain, and it just blossomed into something really big because book two was actually the original idea. But when I started writing, it blossomed into something else, and now I have book one. The main character doesn't really come into the book until book two. You
Wow.
know,
Okay, so let me ask you this. I know you said that you were in the wild basically yourself and
right?
brainstormed and came into some enlightenment to write this book. Is this your first book you've ever written?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
yes.
And it just took off like that.
It took off. Yeah, it took off.
Wow. Now, I know you said that it's the character doesn't go, the main character doesn't show up to part two
Right,
of the book.
right.
Um, what did you happen to study dogs? How did you come across writing all about,
It it
the
it,
dogs
it,
of the
wa-
world?
it was pretty natural. And being that
Okay.
it's a fictional book, you could pretty much put your own flavor in there. I know certain things about dogs, but the thing that's cool about this book is it's not only about dogs. We got eagles in there, we have gorillas, we have lions, we have all kinds of animals in there. So when I go into schools and I talk to children that have read the book, uh, they're telling me which one of their animals are their, or which character is their favorite character. So that's interesting too. The main adversaries are the dogs and the wolves, but
Oh,
they're not the only ones that are in the book. It's pretty intense and has a lot of different animals in there.
wow. Now, when you started, did you happen to just pick up a pen and start writing, or did it take a long time to create this book?
I picked up a pen and couldn't put it down. It took, the only thing that hindered me was time. I ended up taking 6 weeks off of work to finish it because work was getting in the way. So I took 6 weeks off of work and I finished. I
Hmm.
finished it in 2012 actually, and
Wow,
yeah, I
that
launched.
long.
Yeah, I
Wow.
launched. I launched it in 2021, but it's been done since 2012.
Wow. Now, are you a perfectionist? Did you go back in over and over again and change things, or?
I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I had to keep changing because my grammar is horrible. So every time I sent it to the editor, we had to change things because that's what you hire an editor for. My grammar is horrible, but I could tell a great story. So it
Right.
was a combination of people that made the vision come to life. She had
Wow.
to do editing and over. The first time I sent her the book, she sent it back to me. It looked like somebody cut their hand over the paper. There was so many red marks on it, but it,
You
it,
can
it,
get it
it got
done.
done. It got done.
Wow. Now, I know you said that you've been inside of the schools. What motivates you to write and give such vivid illustrations in the book to make it come to life? What inspires you?
You know what? Going into the schools and interacting with the children, that's just a whole nother level, man. When you can show, it's very, very important to me. Like I can sit here and talk to you about my baby all day long. Dogs of the Wild is
Mhm.
my baby. But
Right.
the initial idea to write it, I didn't know it would grow into something that it's growing into now. What I've noticed is that we have such a little amount of representation of us as fictional writers,
Hmm.
especially the kids don't get to see people that look like them as fictional writers. This
Mm,
fictional writing industry is a huge industry.
you're
The
right.
Marvel movies have made over $25 billion. They all started as comic books.
Right.
How come our kids aren't being taught to creatively write?
And
So
that's a good point.
yeah. So it started with one thing, my idea, and I said, okay, now it could grow into a trilogy. I already know how it's going to end, and we wrote, but it's grown into something so much, like the mission has grown into something so much bigger because I've asked students, how come they haven't written? And they would give me answers like, nobody's told us. We don't know how. We don't think it would be
Mhm.
good enough. We've never seen anybody. We've never met an author. I never met an author until I started
Wow.
writing.
Mm,
So this is now a big part of the book, is the mission for them to see me as representation, and they say, if Kevin can do it, I can do it. And it opens up so many doors for them. Like when they come into our neighborhoods with to shoot their movies, you
hmm.
see a production team, you don't see any of us there.
No,
We,
no.
we're not directors, we're not involved in it at all we are consumers. So if I can get these kids, because who's more creative than a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old? After us, children are creative. Why aren't they being taught to creatively write?
Right.
So it's seeing their joy, getting their engagement. I
Hmm.
also stand out on the streets a lot and sell my books.
I
And
saw you. I
yeah,
follow you on Instagram. I follow you.
and the feedback that I get from people being out on the street, it motivates me more. So
Wow.
the kids' excitement and the motivation, the excitement I get from people out on the street, strangers out on the street, it just motivates me and let me know that I'm on the right path here with this book.
Now, I know you said you're into fictional writing. Now, what type of books? Like, I know a lot of people watch. the Marvels like you spoke of and X-Men and everything. What's your favorite character of the Marvel and
Of
X-Men?
the Marvel, I would probably say the Hulk. The
Okay.
Hulk was probably my favorite
Well, he's
character.
gonna beat up by Thanos. So what you think about that?
They did the Hulk dirty. They did the Hulk dirty.
I think so too.
But
Hopefully, you don't have no characters in your book being. Look, I'm not giving away the book.
but that you touch on that point. Another point of this mission is so that we create our own characters now.
Yeah.
You've seen on the news. I don't watch the news too much, but I was seeing on Instagram that we were having a slew of characters at these amusement parks that were just disrespecting our youth.
Yes.
If we write and we create, now we have amusement parks with our own characters.
Exactly.
We don't need to go to the amusement parks anymore.
I love that.
You
You're
know?
absolutely right because we're always dying to get into their scene. And you've actually, like you said, we don't know. I mean, I didn't find out that Three Musketeers was written by a black man until years later.
Mm-hmm.
To know that you, Kevin Blaize, are a fictional writer writing epic trilogies. This is definitely inspiring. Do you have children yourself?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And how do they feel about their dad being a superhero?
Oh, they love it, man. They love it. They love it. They love it. They're very encouraging,
Mhm.
and they actually help me with all the technical stuff because I'm not a technical guy at all. Like when I'm out on the street, the Square debit card machine, I didn't even know what it was until my son
Right.
hooked it up for me. So
Technology. Yes.
technology, they're on it. They're on it.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. I know you spoke about speaking in the schools. If people wanted to get in touch with you and have you come and be a guest speaker, how could they get in touch with you?
The easiest way is probably my email.
I'm going to write
That's
your email. Mm-hmm.
Author Kevin Blaize at gmail.com.
Okay.
Pretty simple to remember. It's Author Kevin Blaize at gmail.com. That's probably the easiest way to get in contact with me.
Okay, great. And now I know you said that the book has been written since 2012 and it's actually been on the shelves since 2021.
Right.
Where's the book actually available at?
I do everything 100% independent. So I have my own physical copies. I have my own websites. I control my distribution. I send everything out. Like I'm not on Amazon or any of those big sites. It's 100% independent. A lot of the younger folk may not remember a gentleman by the name of Master P, but I pretty much study his style, and that's the route that I'm going. That's the route that I'm going with. So to order Dogs of the Wild, you would just go to my website, www.dogsofthewild.com, and everything is 100% done by me.
Now, I have to say, because I'm a big cartoon buff, and I have cousins, and one of my cousins, the VIC, he had a whole bunch of comic books, and I just, I gravitated to the comic books. And then when I got older, I watched, what's it, Thundercats.
Oh, I love Thundercats.
So when I think about your book, The Dogs of the Wild, I can just think about how you're going to be creative to making and you made wolves and dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And are they similar? Did you have to study both of the characteristics and mannerisms of both animals?
I love dogs and I love wolves, so I was pretty familiar with the two animals going into it, and I'm actually fascinated by wolves, so I was pretty familiar going into it. It was it's a unique idea, and people ask me about that all the time. Like they ask me, how did you come up with the concept like what you asked me, and they also asked me they try to get the ending of the story from me but I try not to reveal too much of the story when I'm answering questions. But I did have to do a little studying about them. I'm still learning about certain things, but like I said, when it's fictional, you can add your own little flavor, your spices in there, and go whichever way you want to go.
Yes. Now, do you have a dog?
I had one. He's on the back cover of the book, Shadow. I think this is 3 summers now since he passed.
Oh.
And he was a monster. He was a Rottweiler. Everybody was bringing their Rottweiler female to breed with him. Oh. And the last litter that he had that with a female, she had 18 puppies.
18 puppies. Oh my
18
God.
puppies.
That's
Like it's
dogs of the wild for real.
you know, so
Wow.
I'm just so busy that I haven't been able to get another one. I would love to get another one, but they take time, you know. So, and I'm
Right.
really all over the place. So I
Wow.
just don't have the time. It wouldn't be fair.
Right. Now I know I met you in Atlanta and you're
Right,
located in New York.
right.
And you just get, I mean, I love the way your spirit is so emboldened to just get out and go. Cause
Right.
I mean, my daughter recognized you. So I know
That's
you're
cool.
growing traction, onto the Instagram. By the way, give them your Instagram. Follow you.
Instagram is dogs at Dogs of the Wild series. So that's at Dogs of the Wild series.
All right.
That's my Instagram to join, become a member. I think we're about 6 members away from 800. Everything grassroots from the bottom up, and having a
No
blast doing
doubt.
it. The week before I was in Atlanta, I was in
Mhm.
Albany, Georgia. So I
Mm,
took a 15-hour drive to Albany, Georgia,
wow.
and then came back home, and then I took the 12-hour drive to you guys in Atlanta, Georgia. Before I forget, you had mentioned
Mhm.
comic books.
Yes.
I have a childhood friend. His name is Max Bristol, and he has an amazing comic book that's out now called Race. So
Mm, got
it's
to get him on the
racially,
show.
yeah, it's racially alternate criminal entities, and
Mm,
we're trying to take this thing to another
yes.
level with this
I love
fictional and
it.
creative writing.
Are you subscribed to any of the comic groups on Facebook and social media?
Me personally, no, I'm not.
Okay,
Um,
because I would definitely tell you to subscribe to them
mhm,
because they do show a lot of love. There's a lot of, and everybody, all my viewers, listen up. There's a lot of Black comics
right.
that are coming out, superheroes, and
This is what we
are
need.
tired of the same. And he's the first author. That's why I had to have you on my show because I was so just impressed to see a Black man, a Brother Moon, actually helping our children to think outside of the norm and be everything.
Yeah,
We've already been president. We've already been vice president. Let's take it all over.
yeah,
And I just want to commend you for staying and standing your ground because it takes a lot of guts to get rejection,
right.
and to get love is easy,
Hmm.
but it shows up in your character. Because I saw you out there, and it was had to been like almost 100 degrees, and
Right.
you still had a smile on your face, and you were still giving out love and good energy. So I
Yeah.
just want to ask you a few more questions about the mannerisms of a dog. Do you, inside of the book, I know just like with characters on, you have a villain, antagonist, and all of that.
Right.
Is it hard to create uh, personalities for animals?
I For me, it wasn't. You
Hmm.
know, like I had no training in writing. I don't remember getting creative writing in school, which is something that I'm pushing for now for our kids. But
Hmm.
again, where are we going to get it from? Because there's no one representing us. But
Yes.
it just came naturally to me. Like it really, really came naturally. I was able to put different personalities on the different dogs, put different personalities on the different wolves, um, the eagles. I was able to switch it up, and it's just something that's in me that flows naturally. Like
Hmm.
I didn't have a difficult time doing it. I actually
Hmm.
enjoy and really, really enjoy it.
Wow. Now I know Lord of the Rings has trilogies. What uh, when you thought of a trilogy, uh, would you adapt this to a movie? Would
That's the
you?
end. That's the end game. The end game is to get it to an animated movie. That's
Mm,
100% the goal, is to get it to an animated movie. And it didn't. The idea wasn't to write a trilogy. It just
it just
when I
happened.
started writing, it just blossomed into something amazing. And for book three, I already know how it's going to end. Recently, I decided when I release book three, I'm going to add an extended version. It's not going to change the ending, but it's
Okay.
just going to make everybody's thought
Right.
totally flip, you know. So we got
Right.
excited. We got exciting stuff coming down the pipeline with this trilogy.
Awesome. Now, how important are illustrations inside of a book of fiction of this caliber?
I think it's extremely important, and it didn't. It didn't make a difference to me when I was reading books
Mm-hmm.
if they had illustrations or not. I actually had a publisher come to me on the street and tell me, "Oh, you don't need to put the illustrations. You can do it in black and white." But I feel like that's cheating the reader for this particular book. I found my illustrator in Zimbabwe. You know,
Mm.
yeah, he lives in Zimbabwe, Duran Graphics. And the kids mention to me all the time, like when they're flipping through the book, like they're amazed at the drawings. I don't want to give that up. I'm not giving that up. So
Oh,
if we gotta
yes.
spend a
I
little
can't
money,
wait. I'm going to give away a book to a
uh,
listener, and I want you to pay attention because I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to ask you at the end of this segment in about 5-6 minutes. What was the question? And then I want you to type it in, and I'm going to give away a book because I'm so proud of you, Brother Moon. You are doing it. I actually gonna have to get two because I got to get one for myself, and I'm going to
I,
give one away.
I appreciate you taking the time out to interview me. I
Oh,
really,
of
really do
course.
appreciate it.
Yes, because you think about a comic book, right? It's the pages so flimsy, but I see. Let's pull up the book again. Let's put the book up again.
I dropped it. Bear with me.
And this book is made so nice. So to imagine that all the illustrations are in here, man, this is
Let
a
me see
must.
if I could show them
You
an
gonna
illustration.
cheat and show us
Yeah,
one?
I'm gonna show them an illustration. Yeah. Well, we know that there's wolves in there. We know that there are dogs in there. So let's see one of the
Ooh, wee, okay. Y'all
yeah,
know what's up.
yeah, yeah,
That's what's up. Very
we
good.
being independent authors, we have to make sure and self-publish, we have to make sure that our book can stand next to a published book.
Awesome.
Those publishers haven't done us any justice. Since 1950, we've only had 11% of Black authors published by those publishing companies. So
Wow.
from 1950 to now, they've only published 11% of our books. There's no way that there's no reason that we should be looking to them
Mm-hmm.
for us to be accepted by them. We have to find our own means to get these things out there. But so if I'm finding my own means, I sit my book next to a published book. You're not supposed to be able to tell the difference,
Right.
So we take very, very big pride in our product, and I've had people come and pick up the book and talk about the bind and the texture, the words and all the format and all that, and for them to say, "Oh, you did this," and independent,
Wow.
self-published, it means a lot. We take pride in it.
Oh, that's nice. Now let me ask you. I know it's pretty expensive to actually do the editing and the proofreading and everything. What advice would you give an aspiring author to keep going on? What are some, because a lot of people don't share the trials and errors. And
Right.
I think important to increase more Black melanated authors. We got to help them a little bit. Give us some of your, to keep you going, the inspiring you to keep you going in the trials and errors that can help us who want to be authors.
The one thing that kept me going was the main thing that kept me going was I knew I had an amazing story, and not to toot my own horn, but
We gonna
no,
toot it, toot.
but no matter what obstacles came my way, because the first time I had signed up for mentorship for my book, and the first class that I signed up for mentorship, everybody in the class was talking about their books, which happened to be pain, upliftment, and so forth. So my book was the only fictional book in there. Like I said, we don't have a lot of representation and mentorship on these kind of books. So when I went, the mentor who was great. He taught me so much information, and I actually ended up writing a home buyer's book because of his class. That's my guy Sean Blanchard. When he came around to me and I had to give the pitch of my book, man, it was dead silence after after my
Wow.
pitch. It was my first time pitching the book,
Mm-hmm.
and if you were weak hearted, you probably would have packed up and said, "Oh man, I maybe I'm in the wrong business," because there was no reaction from anybody. Like it was totally dry. But the thing that kept me going there is that I knew that I didn't know how to market the book. Two, I had never spoken about the book to anybody. face to face or online or anything. So
Mm-hmm.
the pitch of the book I didn't really have. I understood already that I didn't know these things. So if their reaction wasn't what I would have liked, what held me down was I knew I had an amazing story. So
Oh, wow.
I had a editor, my first editor, um, sent me the book. I wasn't satisfied with the editing because
Mm.
I found a lot of mistakes in it. The second editor tried to charge me $6,000,
Whoa.
and I tried to do a Kickstarter to get the money up because I didn't know anything about the business side of it. I
Right.
just knew I had a nice story. I tried to get the money up on a Kickstarter. I got two participants
Oh,
to back
no.
my to back, but
Well, I'm asking everybody, please, that's watching this, if you want to be a part of history, because I'm telling you guys, the people we have on this show, you're going to be amazed at what they do to help our world. And Kevin, like I said, I'm buying two books, one for me and one to give away. And I'm just trying to do my part in this realm to help us inspire each other and keep moving on. As a business consultant, I would have to say, like you said, organic growth. People don't support you at the stage you're at right now, but
right,
they're going to want to get on the bandwagon.
right, right.
What would you say to the people who are looking to have people push them first before they, get enough guts to go out in the crowd and be by themselves? What kind of advice would you give to them?
To the people that are trying to push
Right,
themselves.
who needs that push and they don't have it for themselves? How do you
Oh,
get that
oh,
motivation?
listen, man. No, for entrepreneurs, no only means not over. You know,
Hey,
it
yes.
only means not over. You're gonna hear
Mhm.
1,000 no's to one yes, especially the route that I'm going. You hear 1,000 no's to one yes, but that yes is so satisfying. You
Mhm.
know, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. You
Wow.
know, it's not easy. So you know that it's difficult. You know that you're going the right way, but nothing that's worthwhile comes easy. So
Right.
those are things that I tell myself that I have to tell myself, and I stick by it. No means not over.
It's not over.
Yeah.
Now, are there any things that we need to be on the lookout to help you? How can we help grow your channel, your awareness? By the way, he has a YouTube show, you guys. So we're content creators. Tell them the name of your YouTube show, and how we can help you.
It's more of a channel. I haven't really done podcasts on it yet. That's coming down the line that I would like to do. I
Okay.
definitely would like to do it. But it's Kevin Blaize. You look up Kevin Blaize on YouTube, and you'll see my ugly mug on there, and come and join the page. How they can help is I have these two videos that I personally made for schools. If they can forward the video to any educator that they know, then we can, to get into the schools, to get to the youth is a big part of it. Um, the schools can order books, the schools can set up lectures, and it's a big part of it. So, like I said, everything is grassroots,
Mhm.
and I can share the videos with you, and you can share them
Sure.
to your followers, and every and
Definitely.
any educator, from the charter schools to the public schools, we send them out, and I want to go all over the country with it. It's
Right.
been,
And yeah, that's amazing because we talk about critical race theory. And one of the ways to debunk them in our education is to add our education of
that's
ourselves.
it. That's it.
So on Verse, I always share information to try to help us get enlightenment. I don't use the word learn because I'm not your teacher.
Hmm.
The universe is your teacher.
Right.
So I want to see what we can do to help you grow that. Is it available? The books. How much are the books?
Okay. The books are $20. Hang on one second. I
So
dropped it
I got
again.
two books on it. I got 40 on it. So I'm doing my part. Y'all get the book. I'm telling you. Will you sign mine though, Kevin?
Definitely.
Okay.
And then after I left Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
which it was supposed to be ready for Atlanta, but it wasn't. I added a coloring book to the mix.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I added a
Can I
coloring
get
book.
that?
This is also on the website.
Oh, I got to get that. How much is
This
the
is
coloring
also
book?
the coloring books are $10 each.
Okay.
What I did with the coloring book is I wanted to include the younger kids that aren't at the trilogy reading age, because the
Right.
trilogy reading age is 11 years old and up. So I made it from 3 years old to 8 years old, but I didn't realize adults color so much.
Yeah, we colored.
Yeah, I did not realize that. I
I
did not.
color
They.
outside the lines, but hey, my sister always beats me coloring. To this day, I cannot color, but I would love to get that book because I have a grandson who's 9, and I think that the book to me is, um, I think both sexes can enjoy the book, but
Oh
I
yeah.
see a lot of testosterone, which I like.
Hmm.
I'm into promoting masculinity, and this
Right.
book, the name of the book, just screams, you
Right.
know, let's get it on. Like, what is the name? A Lionel. And again, Thunder,
Right. Right.
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
That's where I'm
Oh.
at. Now, are there any? Are you looking forward to your characters being used as action figures?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And this is what I talk to the youths about. When I go into the schools, I let them know one book can be a prequel, a sequel,
Right.
a trilogy.
Yes.
It could be a play, a musical, merchandise, movies,
Yes.
television
Yes.
shows. Like, I'm trying
Yes.
to get their mind to think outside the box and get us away from the big consumer to the big creator.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
definitely looking at these characters becoming action figures. Definitely.
Right. Awesome. Well, before we go away, again, the book is $20. If you want the book, you can go to
www.dogsofthewild.com. It's www.dogsofthewild.com.
awesome. And we're going to read some of these quotes of some of these comments because I just appreciate my audience and I'd like you to like, comment, share the video, puff puff give, share it on your channels, on your social media, and let's get some exposure because I'm all about exposing Black truth and Black authors and Black businesses. If you need your business needs some help, contact me. I'm the consultant's consultant. I help you get your capital, working capital, equipment. I actually help you with a marketing business plan. I am the one to see. You're going to have to get with me. So please comment below if you need help on that. If you like for me to interview anyone, contact me. It's mijetteverse@gmail.com. So let's read some of these comments. Critical race theory is only a problem if you don't want to know the truth about American history and all history. You are so right, old dude. You are so right, old dude, too. You're right on that. Let's see. Oh, thank you. You're doing it, cuz. All right. Thank you. I'm going to go up and we have you love our show. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
And V DePoris one says very inspirational. Oh, that's awesome.
Thank
And
you.
that's
Thank
what
you.
this is all about.
Yeah.
Inspiring the youth and the adults. You have
And
to
the adults.
got to have something to read, right?
Yeah.
Because TV, the agenda on TV is totally different. We need to escape and read a good book.
Right. Right. And a lot of parents, a lot of adults have dropped the ball on reading. They've turned reading into a punishment. Like, I'm watching TV and you yell at the kid, turn off the TV and go read a book. Now the kid is looking at the book as something boring as
Right.
opposed to something very exciting. Like, I told parents a way to get their kids to try to read is find a book that they've watched the movie already.
Right.
Challenge them to read the book and work something out with them. If they enjoy the book more than the movie, then you get them a treat or something. But get creative with it. To yell at them to read is going to turn them off. We have to get a little more creative with it.
We have to. Now I'm gonna give you the secret question, and you got to comment below if you want to be a winner of one of these books. Okay, you ready? Where is Kevin Blaize residing? Where does he live? I'm not going to mention it again. You should know where he's from. If you paid attention, you're going to get one of these books. Kevin, you have any last minute words before we get off of this live?
Yeah, I want to tell all the adults out there to go after their dreams. Don't just keep talking about it. Take the action. And also for the adults with young ones, pay attention to what they thrive at and invest in it. They have traits that we might let go by without realizing that this is something that they can very, very put some time and effort into. We're more than just rappers and athletes. Those are excellent careers, but
Mm,
only 400 people can be in the NBA at one time. So we spend so many hours running around to these basketball camps and football camps and so
yeah.
forth. And we don't really pay attention to any other trait that the child may have that they can excel in. So start to pay attention and put some effort into those traits that those children have, and you would be satisfied with the results.
Awesome. Well, we know this is your career. We know the creator made you do this because you speak with it so, with so much love and expression and compassion and passion that I know that I got to read it. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you again for coming on, Kevin Blaize.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Hold the book up. The book, once again, is
All
called
right.
The Dogs of the Wild.
Dogs of the Wild, book one in the trilogy, The Rise of a King, written by Kevin Blaize, illustrated by Dorian Graphics. Book two would be out in hopefully June of next year. But also we have the coloring book is available. Let me get the right angle
Yeah,
here. The
there you go.
coloring
There you
book,
go. Uh-huh.
also Dogs of the Wild. Both can be found at www.dogsofthewild.com. Check me out and spread the word. We're not waiting to be invited in, man. We're creating our own doors. We're opening our own doors.
Yes, yes, Ashe. Well, thank you guys, and we look forward to you another time. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.